Hello, myself Madhura Adhikari, and I am back again with another interesting session on clinical research. So be tuned on our channel. So if you do not want to miss out on such interesting videos, do press the bell icon and subscribe and to get update about all such new videos. So are you all eager to know what is today's topic? Let's answer this by asking you all a question. So, have you ever wondered how new drugs and treatments are there getting developed?
Maybe we have to conduct research for that?
Correct, absolutely right. So the answer often lies is the clinical trials, right? Which is meticulously designed where volunteers are playing a very crucial role in advancing medical science.
So what exactly is clinical trial?
Okay, so let me answer your question. What exactly is clinical trial is? So what's clinical trial? Any investigation in human subjects which is intended to verify or to discover the clinical or the pharmacological or pharmacodynamics effect of an investigational product and or to identify the adverse reactions that is caused by that investigational product and or to study the absorption, distribution, metabolism and excretion of an investigational product with the object of ascertaining its safety and efficacy.
Who participates in clinical trial and why?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So let me answer this question again. So we are having two different types of volunteers that we generally take. So to come with the first one, we are having the healthy volunteers. Now the question arises, why healthy volunteers, right? So we are considering the healthy volunteers. Why? Because they are not diseased, and the healthy volunteers we are taking to assess certain parameters. Why we are assessing certain parameters? Because we want to know the safety concentration of that investigational product. What is the maximum dose that can be given to the subject that is taken by the body of the healthy individual, after which if you can increase the concentration, it might lead to certain adverse reaction. So we are taking healthy volunteers just to know what is the safety parameter of the new treatment that we are conducting the clinical trials on. Okay. So the second, we will be taking what we are going to take patients, that means diseased volunteers. So imagine whatever conditions you are taking, right? Let's take an example. You are taking patient, you are having a drug which is having an anti-diabetic property. So you're going to take patients regarding who are having diabetes, and we are going to give that drug to the diseased patient to evaluate the therapeutic response and the efficacy of that drug, right? And we are also going to compare this potential drug with the existing drug for that same disease condition in the market.
I have one question regarding this. Our clinical trial is safe?
So, I like the question you have asked. So, to answer your questions, definitely safety is the major concern. It is being carried out before a clinical trial is conducted, right? So, definitely, whenever the participants they are coming and voluntarily participating in the clinical trial, what they have to do first, they have to sign the informed consent form, because any clinical trial you want to or you wish to conduct, it cannot happen without the consent or without the permission of the participants or the subjects. So if they are actually willing to participate in a clinical trial, then only they can come and they can voluntarily participate, and their safety concern is what has to be taken into consideration for the sponsor company who are conducting the clinical trials. Okay, so definitely there are a lot of ethical rules and guidelines that are there, which is only being done to minimize the risk, right? To minimize the risk. And definitely these participants, if during the trial, if they feel that it is harming their mental suffering is there, or physical, they feel that it is not good for them, they can withdraw it any moment of time. And if at all, if there is any adverse effects or side effects that is happening, it is totally the responsibility of the clinical researchers, they have to provide with the emergency treatment which is available immediately, and also they have to provide with all sort of compensation as well. So safety concern is the major thing, because if the drug is not safe, if when we are doing a preclinical study, right, when we are conducting this research on the or this drug on the animals, we are ensuring the safety of that drug. Okay, and after that we are going for the human trials. Okay, so in that also we have to check with the safety concentration. So safety is definitely one of the major concern, and it is safe, but yes, rarely serious complications occur, and accordingly the thing, or you can say accordingly the treatment will commence if such serious complications occurs. Okay, so now I have a question for you. So tell me, how many phases are there in a clinical trial?
I think 4.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. So let's discuss with the each phases. So to come with the first phase, that is the phase one, right? It is also known as clinical pharmacology or human pharmacology. And what we do in this phase, right? So whatever the investigational drug we are having, we are checking for the safety of that drug. So in this phase, we are taking healthy volunteers and we are administering the new drug with different doses to each of the participants, and we are analyzing what we are trying to analyze what is the safety concentration of the drug. That means at what dose the drug is producing good effects, and at what dose the drug will start to show some side effects or adverse effects. So now again to talk with the phase 2 clinical trial. So another name for the phase 2 clinical trial is the therapeutic exploratory trial. Now what does this trial say? What is the objective of this trial? So the objective of this trial is that it check for efficacy and safety. Now the word efficacy comes here. Why? Because here we are considering the diseased volunteers. We are taking the diseased volunteers. Suppose let's take for an example, if we are having the investigational drug which is say which is showing anti-diabetic property. So we are going to take the diseased participants who are suffering from diabetes, right? And we are going to administer this new investigational product in the diseased volunteers. And when we are going, what we are going to check? We are going to check that whatever property the new investigational drug is claiming. Like suppose, let's take for an example, the new investigational drug is claiming to has an anti-diabetic property. So we are going to check in phase 2 clinical trial that whether this drug is able to produce the therapeutic response or not, that whether it is able to reduce the blood glucose level or not. So this is what efficacy, what we are going to check. And we are also checking the safety parameter. Why? Because you have to understand in phase 1, we were taking the healthy volunteers, right? So what was happening? The body physiological condition of a healthy and a diseased volunteers is going to vary. So definitely we again have to check for the safety parameters in the phase 2 clinical trial as well. I hope it's clear. So now coming down to another phase, that is the next phase, that is phase 3, which is known as therapeutic confirmatory trial. Now, why this word confirmatory is coming here? Because in phase 2, we were doing the clinical trial on a fewer participants. Here, we are conducting the clinical trial in a larger population to check with the therapeutic response of the investigational drug. And one more thing, we are confirming the result as well as we are doing one more thing. We are going for a comparative study here. Now, what does this comparative study means in phase 3 clinical trial? What does that mean? That means, suppose let's take for an example, if we are considering the drug, it is having an anti-diabetic property, right? So we are going to take two groups, and to group A, we are going to give a standard treatment of the drug, standard treatment of the disease condition, right? What does that mean? That means already you have to take the drug which is already existing in the market for that particular disease condition. So let's take for an example, if you're considering the anti-diabetic, it's metformin. It's a standard drug which is available, which can reduce the blood glucose level. So we are going to compare metformin, which is the golden standard drug, with the investigational drug, right? with the investigational drug, and we are going to check what we are going to check with the potency of the investigational drug. That means whether the investigational drug is having more potency and better efficacy with less side effects compared to the standard treatment. Okay, so this is about phase 3. Here we are coming down to the last phase, that is the phase 4, which is known as the post-marketing surveillance. Right? Now what does surveillance? Surveillance means we know something, monitoring and something. So why this name in phase 4? So in phase 4, we are going to launch the drug in the market by taking the permission from the regulatory authority, where you are going to submit all the documents, collect all the documents regarding what is the therapeutic response of that investigational drug, what is the adverse reaction or the side effects it is causing. You are submitting every data to the regulatory authority, who is going to grant the permission to launch the drug in the market. So after it's launched, right, initially up to 4 to 6 years, what you have to do, you have to submit the data, submit the safety report data to the regulatory authority, right? PSUR data, periodic safety update report data, and you have many other report data that you need to submit to the regulatory authority. Why? Because after you submit, then only initially up to after till 4 to 6 years, when you submit, then only permission will be granted to continue that drug in the market. So what you are going to do, in initially up to 4 to 6 years, you are going to submit the safety data, the risk and the benefit data, right? You are, suppose you are going to some hospitals, you are collecting that about what is the efficacy, what are the side effects is happening, to which population that side effects is happening, right? Whether to a special population that drug is not suitable. After collecting the data, all these data you are going to submit to the regulatory authority up to 4 to 6 years, right? Where they are going to assess that whether this drug is absolutely safe to be continued in the market or not, and if it is having some kind of adverse reactions, they are going to analyze that what special population data, what special population is having this adverse drug reactions. Suppose, let's take for an example, the whatever investigational drug you are having, it is not suitable to give to the pregnant ladies according to the reports or the data that you have collected initially up to 4 to 6 years. So of course, so it will be given, it will be prescribed in such a condition, it will be there in the market with such a condition that yes, that drug is safe, but it should not be given to the pregnant lady. So how you get to know about this? About all the data report that you are initially going to collect it up to 4 to 6 years, which you are going to submit to the regulatory authority to continue that drug in the market. So this is what the pharmacovigilance is, something different that we are going to deal, but this is what post-marketing surveillance data is all about. So that is about phase 4.
How can I find out about clinical trials?
So that's nice. I like your interest that you want to know more about the clinical trials. So I can help you out, definitely. You can go and search in clinicaltrials.gov. Okay. So that is where it is a database you are going to get to know about the clinical trials. Another one you can have, yes, National Cancer Institute, where if you want to conduct any kind of cancer trials, you can of course go to that website to get more such informations. The third one is National Institute of Health, right? There also you can get again the informations regarding clinical trials. And the last one is your doctor, right? So your doctor can be a valuable resource to get you or to help you with more informations regarding the clinical trials. So, if you want to know more about such topics on clinical research, definitely you have to subscribe the channel LLRI to get to know and to get to connect it with more such important and interesting related contents. So do like, comment, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get to know with more such videos. Wait. Let me thank you all. Thank you all for watching this video.